So hello guys, in today's video I am going to show you some basic Docker commands. So let's see. So here are some commands which we are going to use in this video. So the first command is creating and running a container. The docker run command is used to create or run a container, and we can also use some options with it like P for port mapping or binding, or we can use D for detach mode to run a container in a detach mode. And we use docker start command for start a container and stop command for stop a running container. And we use docker restart command for restarting a container. And also there is a command docker inspect that is used for inspecting a container and to list all the containers which are running containers. We use docker ps command, and docker ps minus a command is used to uh, get a list of all the running as well as all the stopped containers. And to remove a container we use docker rm command, and to view the logs and for the troubleshooting purpose we use docker logs command. And with each command we use container name or id. So let's go to the command prompt and try these all commands. So here we are in our terminal. So let's try the commands. So the very first command we'll try is docker images. Now docker images command is used to list all the images available in our this system. Now these are the images available in our system. Now if you want to pull a new image, there is a command called docker pull. So let's try docker pull, and we have to specify the name of the image. Let's for example here pull the Python image. Now here it is pulling the image. It is using the default tag latest. Now you can see here our image is pulled successfully. Now again if we try here docker images command, you can see here our Python image is available right now. Now one more thing I just want to tell you. Now here look at the command. We use docker pull Python, and by default it use the latest tag to download the latest image of this Python. Now if you want to download any specific versions image, like here I will show you. Here is a nginx docker official hub, docker hub's official repo, and here are some versions. Here are many versions. And let's example if you want to download this 1.24 versions image in your system. So how you can download it? So we can download it by just we have to type docker pull and the image name nginx. Now here we just have to mention the version by just colon and the version here. Now if we enter, now it will pull the 1.24 version of this nginx server. Now here 1.24 pulling from the library. Here now again if we try to docker images command, now here there are two nginx now. One is latest and the other one is 1.24 version. Now in this way you can download any version's image in your system. uh, and now let's try some another commands. First let's clear the terminal. Docker images. And now if you want to run the container from this image, that there is a command that is docker run command, docker run. And now here you have to specify the image name like docker run nginx. Now here it is running. Now you see here the container work on the attached mode. So let's open a new window. I'll show you. Our container is running right now. uh, Now there is another command to show the list of all the running containers. That is docker ps. Now our this nginx container is running. It is our container ID and it is a container name. So here, but here you see our container is working, but our here keyboard and mouse is stuck. We are not able to do anything. That is because our container is now working on attached mode. So if we just simply to run out of this condition, you have to press Ctrl plus C. And now if we enter Ctrl plus C, our container is also, stopped. Now again, if we try docker ps command, you see our container is now stopped. So how we can run the container in the detached mode? So there is option called -d. So we have to use docker run -d for detached mode and then the our image name. -d is for detached mode and press enter. Now here it returns the container ID and now our container is running in the background. Now let's again try here docker ps command. Now here see our container is running and it is up 12 seconds. And now if you want to stop this container, you can try the command docker stop. You can specify here container ID, copy, paste, and now our container is stopped. And now to start this container, you can use docker start command. And you can also use container ID or you can use container name, this name here. Now our container is again start, docker ps. Now our container is running. And now for some reason, if you want to restart your container, you can also use docker restart command. Docker restart, then the container ID. Now the container is restarted and see here up 3 seconds ago. Now you can also use help option with any command to read about the command. For example, here you can use docker ps ---- help. Now it will shows you all the options available for this command, like -a for show all the containers and default shows just running container. If you use -a with it, it will show all the containers, all the stopped or running containers, and -f for filters and -l for latest. So these are some options. This help option you can use with any command. It will help you for just go through the command. Now one more important thing is, first let's clear the screen. Now here you can see the name of the container. These names are auto-generated, randomly generated by the Docker. So sometimes if there are tens or twenties of containers in your environment, so it is difficult for you to remember the container ID or container, these types of container names for you, for your container. So what you can do is you can give any custom name to any of the container. So how you can do that? First, let's see the Docker images. Now here, for example, I just want to use the Python image for the new container. Now, just create a new container, Docker, run, and -d for detach mode. And here you have to give the option that is --name. And after that, you have to give the custom name for your container. That is like give any name like just give the Pyth. And after that, you have to give the image name, which is Python. Uh, yeah. Now it will return the container ID. Now to check the custom name, just simply ps. Now here see our name Pyth and our image is Python. Here you see the name is changed. Now you can use this name to start the container. Start Pyth. Now it will return the pipe. Now sometimes what happens is there may be 2 or 3 apps in your environment which uses the same port and create conflicts for your application. Now here let's see with an example. Docker images, and right now here we have two Nginx images and we have one container running with this image, latest one. Now run the another images container with the -d nginx, and now again if we try docker ps, now you see here there are two images and they both use the same port, 80 port. uh, this maybe creates the conflicts for your applications. So how you can solve this? We can solve this by port binding. So to bind your host port to the container port, you have to use -p option with docker run command. Docker run -d in detach mode, and here you have to use -p for port binding. And after -p, you have to mention your host port. Like for example, we can use 2000, and we have to bind it with port 80 of the containers port. Here we have to mention port 80, and after that we have to mention the image like nginx 1.24, and now it returns the container ID. Let's again check the docker ps command. Now you can see here our this container, the image 1.24. Now the port is binding to the 2000. Now you see here, we can also verify. We bind it to 2000. Now see here our server is running welcome to nginx. Now this container is running successfully on the port 2000. We can also use the port binding with nginx also. Uh, we have to mention here 2001, and here we have to mention that only nginx. Now you can see here docker ps. You can see here now our this port is 2001 is binded with the nginx image. Now let's try again here. 2001. See here, host 2000. See how both 2000 and 2001 nginx servers are running. So in this way, you can solve the problem of ports conflicts. And now if you want to remove these containers, you can use rm command, docker rm. Now one more important thing is you cannot remove a running container. Let's try to remove this container. Now these containers are running. So let's try to stop this. Now it will gives us an error response for daemon. You cannot remove a running container. So first we have to stop these containers. Docker stop here. Now where this container is stopped. Now docker ps. Now there are 3 containers. Now we can use docker rm command to remove the container. See here. Now where this container is even not available with -a. There are so many containers here. One more thing is you can wait docker, just wait docker ps. Now these 3 containers are running. You can remove a running container by using the f option with the docker rm command. Docker rm -f is forcefully delete this container, no matter it is running or not running. So let's delete this third one, nginx. The name is admiring bell. So if we use -f, it will delete the container forcefully. So again, let's try to docker ps command. Now see, there are previously 3 containers, now there are only 2 containers. So in this way, you can remove a container. And also if you want to check logs of any of the container, and if there is any uh, issue with your container, you can use the docker logs command. Docker logs with the container ID or container name, docker logs, enter. You see here are all the logs of our container. Now there is one more command, that is docker exec. Now but with docker exec command we can get the terminal of a running container. So we can check the log file, or maybe we can check the configuration file of the uh, container. So in order to access the terminal of the container, you can use docker exec, or here you have to use -it, that is for interactive terminal mode. You will get the access of the terminal of the container. Here you have to mention the container ID. First, let's see the docker container one. Here is the ID. Let's see docker exec -it for interactive terminal. Here you have to mention the container ID, and after that you can mention bin bash. Now here you see, here we are in the containers terminal. Now here you can use Linux commands to access the terminal like ls. Here are the all the directories of our container, and you can use cd dot ls. Now in this way, you can check the terminal of your container, and if there are any problem or issue with your container, you can troubleshoot it with it. And now if you want to exit from this terminal, simply type exit and enter. Now you are back here in your terminal. So these are some basic docker commands. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'll see you in next video.